Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Wrong About Sports podcast. I am pretty happy Chicago Bears fan, Brian McDaniel.
And if I had a paper bag at my house, I'd put it over my head, Vikings fan, Carla Bigham.
And we are
wrong about sports.
So, Carla, you and I were texting this weekend, and with the different injuries, because the Vikings were playing the Packers, and Josh Jacobs was out, and the Bears are playing the Steelers, and Aaron Rodgers is out. You and I were texting, and we were thinking, hey, maybe we're both going to be happy this weekend. And unfortunately, only one of us is happy.
Well, the ironic thing is the O-line for the Vikings was completely healthy, and you had no linebackers. And,
oh my gosh!
And the Bears won, and we didn't. But let's start with the Vikings versus the Packers. 6-23, Pack wins. I don't know what else to say. JJ McCarthy, 12 for 19, 87 passing yards, 2 interceptions. And no touchdowns. He had a cute quarterback rating, Brian. He's not even legal, 17.9. The running backs, Jones and Mason, had 83 yards between the two of them. Jefferson had 48 receiving yards, 6 targets, 4 receptions. So at least he was pretty much catching them. Thielen, Naylor, Addison each had a target, no receptions. So we had a stupid play by Miles Price on a kickoff return that really just took the mental capacity out of the Vikings. And then, Dallas Turner had a nice sack. But again, the O-line was full strength, and yet J.J. McCarthy got sacked 5 times. So let's recap. Let's actually say this. Jordan Love he was 14 for 21, 139 passing yards. But just for the viewers, his quarterback rating for the game, 76.1. And as you said, Josh Jacobs was out, but Emmanuel Wilson had a career high of 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, 28 carries. So let's recap. We can't throw, we can't catch, we can't tackle, and we clearly cannot call plays. So,
I think you also have to throw on top of that, you can't draft.
Yes, apparently we can't draft either. So, JJ regressed, and it's it's not just JJ. It is not. I've mentioned everything, like I said, what we can't do. And we need somebody to get us to yes, we can call plays. Yes, we can throw the ball. Yes, we can catch the ball. And for the love of all things holy, we can sack people. We have an incredible defensive line that is full of talent with our linebackers, and our defensive line is not terrible by any means. And we just cannot sack or tackle. It takes 4 of them to tackle somebody, and then they're standing around. And it's just unbelievably frustrating and regressive. It's not even like he's building on, KOC isn't even improving the team. And I think mentally he's probably lost the team. I'm not going to be, they have to make changes. I'm not going to be surprised if they get new coordinator for the offensive side, at least. And KOC has to stop calling these plays and turn it over to the booth. That's just, he isn't seeing stuff. And again, JJ either isn't picking up the reads of the defense schemes, and he isn't calling audibles. This guy is worse than, I think one of the stats I saw is he's worse than Jamarcus Russell or something like that. Now there's a blasphemous pass.
That's something. Here's what baffles me. Obviously, we kind of thought the Vikings were a 3rd place team in the division at best, and as good as they were last year. That's how bad they are this year. But what has surprised me is, I mean, I think you got to start, and not that you're not, but start blaming, the coaches on
Yeah.
this. They are not adapting their system to McCarthy. They left Wentz out there um, criminally too
Yep.
long when he was injured. And if the game is too fast for McCarthy, then you got to figure out a way to slow it down.
Simplify. It's just simplify the damn scheme.
I mean, Caleb Williams, at times was getting sacked last year, getting sacked all the time. You know, just didn't seem to really all be able to run the offense efficiently. Um, but there was a glimmer of hope usually in each game. They are destroying JJ McCarthy and his confidence. And I mean, hey, we're all
Yeah.
Gopher fans here.
Yep.
If you play Brosmer, it's not going to be a ton better. It's just not. So I think that there's going to be somebody who's going to take the fall here. I don't think it's going to be KOC,
I don't
but
either.
the general
Not
manager,
yet.
Quasi,
Yep.
mm,
He
you
may,
know,
and I definitely think I think he's gotta probably get a new offensive coordinator, one that is that KOC has confidence in for play calling. And I don't, if that guy is so good, then that guy's probably going to be a head coach somewhere. But
yeah.
I agree with you. I do not think KOC takes the fall. I think it's an offensive coordinator and maybe Quasi. But I mean, look, the Wilfs are known for giving grace and space. So I will be very shocked if they move on from KOC just because he had one bad season. This is going to be the worst season I believe he's had as a coach. And so I think they may, and look, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Just don't tell John that, my husband. But like, it's just, it's to me, I think that they will not move on from KOC, but Quasi would not be a surprise. And I don't know, I don't know when you make that announcement, but you know, they're going to be prepping for the draft, very very quickly here.
Yeah, they're gonna have a good draft pick, and I don't know that they can trust, that, Kwesi is gonna, draft the right guy.
Right.
Uh, and there's obviously a culture issue this year
Mhm.
that didn't exist last year. I mean,
Yeah.
KOC was a darling of everybody. I have a ton of respect for him as a
Mhm.
coach and a play caller and all that. And this year, it's just, there's something missing. There's something lacking, and
I
you
think
can
it's his
see it on his
confidence in
face.
JJ. You just
Yeah,
like he doesn't want to hurt JJ, so he's calling these really weird plays that are not good. And when the pace is too fast for JJ, he can't adjust the defense, to the defensive schemes. And the defensive coordinators know that when they play us, that this kid is like just he can't accept the pace and he can't read schemes. And one thing that's going to tick Vikings fans off and wholeheartedly is if I'm sorry, if Justin Jefferson starts making weird comments like I need to go because I don't have many years left and I want a ring and they're not doing it for me. That stuff happens, then I think the Wills will move on from I think it'll be a front office thing versus changes versus any sort of um, letting Justin Jefferson go. And I mean, we're going to talk about it here in a second, but when you had options like Jameis Winston and stuff like that available before the trade deadline, and you didn't make the call. I mean,
well, and to that point, I can understand not bringing in a veteran after Wentz went out because that sends a bad message to McCarthy. But how many bad, pick between your bad messages?
yeah,
Because it's not like that saved McCarthy, from any embarrassment or lack of, or losing his confidence. He lost it anyway, and you
yeah,
could have brought somebody in to maybe mentor him a little bit, and maybe
with
Wentz
some
is,
humor with Winston.
yeah, yeah, no kidding. Oh, we
Yeah,
we would
that would
love
have been
that.
fun. That would have been fun.
But But yeah, so
And who
let's
knows? Winston may be available, before the draft, and they may. I mean, obviously, they're going to probably cut Wentz, and so like if they keep him, they've got. I mean, that's just malpractice right there, man. But like, you keep Rosemary, you keep McCarthy, and you bring in like a Winston, or you bring in somebody of that caliber that can help them. I mean, Mason Rudolph didn't do very hot, but again, we'll talk about that. But anyway, it's just frustrating, sad, disappointing, and only time will tell. But this season is obviously done. And there isn't much more to say other than let's wait for the off season to see what changes transpire, and then we'll get all pumped up, come August again, like, oh no, this could be our year, this could be our year, and then this happens again. But I'm
just one
46. I would love to see a Super Bowl before I die.
they're just 1 year removed from what 14 and
Mhm.
3. So the talent is there, and far be it for me to praise TikTok.
Right.
But TikTok has at least because everyone's feed gets tailored to them. But I have a lot of JJ McCarthy TikToks in my
Yep.
feed, and the interest when they break down his mechanics, you can see what's wrong. You can see what he's not doing great, and they can go back to Michigan and show that he just can't throw left. And I think that's just curious that these deficiencies in his game are coming out now when they've had a long time to work on mechanics with him and game theory and all of that. I mean, McCarthy, I mean not McCarthy. KOC figured out how to make the Pastronaut serviceable for a brief period of
Yep.
time. I'm just surprised he can't do this. And I guess whatever quarterback they bring in, hopefully it's somebody who can run, O'Connell's system and then teach it to JJ. But yeah, they're not trending well. There's gross vibes there, and I feel a lot bad for McCarthy, and I feel a little bad for you, just
Just a
smidge,
little. Just a little.
just tad.
Yeah, well,
Now,
I don't feel bad for you because I have to say, and we called this, I mean, so let's give ourselves credit. That it's the Bears, I think Bears division to lose. And they either were going to just have a complete crap season or they were going to be big time competitors. And it started off rocky. Um, but it's turning out, and I know we don't want to jinx it. So next week we might both will probably be crying, but um, the Bears really have been better coached, and I'll let you talk about that. They have adjusted to their deficiencies, and throughout the season, every week has improved. Um, they're still not perfect, and they won't be, and they're still getting used to in a culture thing there. But when you have all three systems going like the Bears do right now, it is theirs to lose. And if the Lions, um, they had a hard game yesterday, and we'll talk about that against a team they should not have. And so, anyway, what did the Bears do?
well, I was pretty happy yesterday, and after the game, I hoisted a frosty adult beverage,
Mhm.
probably one that I purchased from the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association affiliated retailer. Since 1952, the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association has been helping licensed beverage retailers in the state of Minnesota with information resources, educational programs, and government affairs services designed to promote, and protect their business. All their member retailers understand that with the MLBA, you are not alone. So, yesterday's game, going into it, I was encouraged by the news that Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to play because, in addition to being one of the worst people on the planet,
Mhm.
he's the Chicago Bears daddy because he owns them. and I wish that wasn't true, but it is. So he was going to be out. But then the flip side of that is that the Bears were going into this game without their top three uh, defensive backs, and their three starting linebackers were all out. They were playing
Correct.
guys that they drafted or picked up the scrap heap. And so even though Mason Rudolph was going to be quarterback of the Steelers, he's a wily vet at
Yeah.
this point, and we saw that Snoop Huntley didn't have much problems as a backup against the Bears. But it was a typical Bears game in that the offense was playing well. Caleb was good, not great. He's missing
Mhm.
some throws too, but he does not throw interceptions. He did have a very costly fumble, but he does not throw interceptions, which means that even when he's not doing great, the damage is somewhat limited. But
Correct.
the offense looked okay. The run game wasn't quite what it had been in the last couple of games, but the Bears' defense was definitely bend and break just a little bit, but they were, if I dare use this word, they were heroic in their own way, that they were able to keep the game within reach. And then the Bears got up by 10 points, and then gave up a late touchdown to the Steelers, hot knife through butter. But then the defense got strong
Yeah.
and stopped it, and um, the vibes matter. And in Chicago now, and I don't know, Gabe, at some point if you want to play the Ben Johnson clip, but the Bears post game locker room is raucous, and they are a bunch of people that um, like each other, and they're going to run through a brick wall for their coach.
Hell yeah, man! Man, I tell you what, it takes a village. It takes a village. And I'm talking about players, I'm talking about coaches, I'm talking about training staff, I'm talking about everybody in this building.
And they're expecting to win. Last year, all of these games they would be expecting to lose,
Mhm.
and we can't hear the audio there, but the Bears' mantra right now is good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best, and then they lose their minds.
Mhm.
So I don't agree. I don't think that the Bears are going to win the division, but they got two games against the Packers left. If they win one, and they got one game against the Lions, if they can win that, then yes, they're looking at 10, 11 wins. And that'll certainly get them in the playoffs, if not the division, because the Lions, they tried to blow the game
Mhm.
against the Giants yesterday,
Mhm.
and the Packers are really hit and miss. So
They're
I
winning
mean,
against easy teams, the
yeah,
Packers, and you guys have a very difficult
yes,
schedule, and you're
this
winning
was
against teams you shouldn't. And so I just think mentally, yeah, minimum you guys are in a wild card more than likely because it'll, like, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But I just think when you look at the fact that Williams was 19 for 35, that's not that good. But 239 yards, three tutties, and he also had 21 rushing yards. We don't talk about the fact that this guy's running enough,
yeah.
Brian. And it is a factor in the game because he's a big boy and it's hard to take him down. And then you had DJ Moore, had two tutties and 64 yards.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
the Bears offense, they're a top 5 offense.
mhm.
So, and I think the last time they were a top 5 offense, Walter Payton was still on the team. It was 1978.
I don't
Um,
remember that year.
I do. I don't remember. I was alive for it at least. But yeah, I mean, the coaching seems good. They're not turning it over. The
Yeah.
offensive line. That's the other thing too. The Bears' starting left tackle was out as well, and they were playing another rookie there, and he looked great.
Yep.
The Bears are building on stuff, and if they start getting some of these injured players back, which they'll get some of them, they're going to be able to hold their own. I don't know if you watched any of the Rams Tampa Bay game last night, but
No, I
the
was
Ram.
Sarah McLaughlin.
Oh, that's right. The Rams looked really good. So I mean,
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
are there are people in the NFC who are not just squeaking by the way
No.
the Bears are, but hey, any given Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So it can happen, and I think Chicago right now is just blissfully happy with how things are going. Realistic, but I mean, I think they can get to 10 wins, and that probably gets them in the playoffs. So,
Yeah, I agree. And the Rams are the team to beat in the NFC. There's no
yeah,
doubt about it. And they're, they're playing well, relatively healthy. But they were not a team I would
no.
have picked. You usually could say maybe they'd be a wild card this year at best. Never did I think they'd be in first place
And,
after what
but,
they
and
lost. They lost so many players.
yeah, Buffalo lost this week, and Kansas City almost lost, probably
Yep.
should have lost.
Yep.
So, the traditional AFC powerhouses just aren't there.
Yeah,
Um,
well, and we could talk about the Eagles too.
Yeah, Eagles blew a 21 nothing lead,
Yep.
lost 24
Yeah.
21 to the Cowboys.
How about them
Yeah,
Cowboys?
woof, woof. But
Yep. Yep. And what a play, the undrafted rookie comes through and gets knocked down a few times. I would also say the refs missed a block to the back, but
yeah,
guy gets up and makes the tackle. The Eagles fumble and it or Cowboys fumble. No, Eagles fumble. I'm sorry, and they Cowboys got it. So I mean, and that kind of was a big play that kind of really helped win the
and
game.
and
The
injuries.
Cowboys.
Baker Mayfield went down last night, and our
Mm,
old friend Teddy Bridgewater had to play, and oh, it was rough. It was rough.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
he can teach JJ McCarthy some things not to do because he did them all last night. But yeah, I think that probably who the favorite is going to change between now and the end of the season, and it's going to be nice not just seeing, oh, I shouldn't say that, but it'd be nice if the Super Bowl isn't Kansas City and Philadelphia every year. Let's get Buffalo in there. Let's get
yeah,
the Rams or the Lions or,
yeah.
dare I say the Bears in there. And I would absolutely love to see that. Let's talk a little bit about tonight's
Giant.
game.
Oh, okay. I was
Oh,
gonna
oh,
quickly mention the Giants and Lions
yeah,
because one, you had the Giants who are without Dart, their quarterback, and Stebu, their top
Stadaboo.
running back. And I just, so this is not a game that the Lions should have struggled with. And I think it was at home. Am I not right?
It was
Yes.
home.
Yes. And so, like, they just should not have struggled in this. But Goff had himself a game 42, 28 for 42, 279 passing yards, two tutties, one interception, 45 yards rushing with a touchdown.
Yeah,
Um,
that's usually not his game.
no, but here, you had Jameer Gibbs, just a stud, 15 carries, 219 rushing yards, and two tutties. And then, oh, actually, I think it was, no, Goff had two touchdowns. He didn't rush for one. It was
Oh,
Gibbs that had two rushing and one receiving
yeah,
touchdown. I'm sorry about that. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown had 149 receiving yards and one touchdown. And they were playing without Laporta, mind
yeah.
you, and so, but then let's talk about Jameson Winston. He was 18 for 36, 366 yards, two touchdowns, and an interception, and 366 yards against that Detroit defense. Not, it's not normal, and they
Well,
should not be struggling.
Jameis is a gunslinger,
Yeah,
and it's ridiculous that the Giants started this year with
yeah,
Russell Wilson at quarterback. That Dart, obviously he's injured and had been playing very well. But to look at how the Giants offense looks under Winston as opposed to Wilson, I don't know why they didn't trade one of them.
Yep.
One of them should be playing here in
Yep.
Minnesota, most likely. But then why have those guys on the team, both of them anyway? That's a lot of money that you're putting towards quarterbacks at the very, very, very tail end of their career. But Winston seems to be a super good dude and funny, and the league is better with him in it.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And just like I said, I just think the Lions really need to focus here if they're gonna try and outmuscle the Bears, to be honest, at this point. The momentum is definitely with the Bears, not the Lions. But so tonight's game, Brian, we got Carolina versus the 49ers. And 49ers are predicted to win by 6.5. Not surprised. This is at the 49ers. Both have huge playoff implications for both teams. So you have Carolina fighting with the Bucks, who lost horribly against the Rams last night.
And
Um,
Mayfield's going to be out a number of weeks, if not the season.
oh, I didn't hear that he got hurt. What
Oh
happened?
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he got hurt and he was on the sidelines, but he was in a sling. So they're going to do an MRI today to see how injured he is. But if you're in a sling, I don't know that you're going to play the next week, even if they don't find anything torn or dislocated.
Right. So Carolina, this is like a must win for them to go ahead and start grabbing that top seed in the NFC South. And then the 49ers right now are in the seventh playoff spot. If the playoffs were starting this week, they'd be in seven. And so, no
And
one, I don't think,
they got their quarterback back. Purdy
yep,
is back, and they're starting to get some of their injured receivers back. So the Niners, I wouldn't sleep on them.
no. And so, like, this is a kind of a must win for them too to keep the momentum going forward to be in the playoffs. But do we want to go into picks?
Let's go.
All right. So you mentioned my guy. So for the 49ers, I'm picking Brock Purdy to throw over 250.5 yards. Now they are a top 5 passing offense. Now, granted, Mac Jones was the quarterback for quite a while, but there is no two people that Brock Purdy loves to throw to more than Kittle and McCaffrey. And so I just think Purdy is going to throw. And I don't really have much to say about the Panthers defense. I just don't. They're mediocre, middle vanilla. So, but for the Panthers, I have McMillan, the wide receiver, like number 1 draft pick for Carolina. Against the Falcons, he had 130 yards and 12 targets. And 49ers are not good in against the pass. And so I'm going with McMillan over 65.5 yards receiving.
All right. So I think this is going to be a good game.
Mhm.
Carolina, they're all over the place, but they're 6-5, I think. So they are definitely showing up. Um, but I think it's going to be the Niners that win, and both of my picks are going to be for touchdowns, which are not predictable all that much. But Christian McCaffrey has the over under is point 0.5 touchdowns. I think he's going to get one for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's pretty chalk right there. I would take that. And then on the Carolina side, Rico
Yep.
Dowdle, even though Chuba Hubbard is back, Dowdle has kind of kept most of the starting lineup there. And
Mhm.
he also is at point 0.5 touchdowns. I think he's going to get one too.
Yep.
So I feel pretty confident in both of those picks, and I'm looking forward to the game tonight.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good one. And both I think are gonna have a lot of competitive nature. Both teams are coming at it with a must win. So I think it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah. Well, I am good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till your good is better and your better is best. Bear down, the Bears. Brian McDaniel.
And I'm going to go look for a paper bag to put over my head. Vikings fan Carla Bigham. Skull.
And we are Wrong About
Wrong about
Sports.
sports.